Today on MTG Unpacked, we're getting stuck into one of the new Kaldheim Commander decks. That is the black-green deck, Elven Empire. And we will be taking a look at the other one in the next video, so stay tuned for that. So let's take a closer look here. So we've got Lathril, Blade of the Elves, Foil Commander. And on the back here, a whole bunch of stuff. The key points, 100 card deck with 8 new cards. That's pretty cool. Deck box, 10 double-sided token cards. You've got a Life-Will strategy insert and reference card. So let's get into it. These were released on February 5th, 2021. Going for about $19.99 US. You may be able to get them cheaper if you buy both decks together. That's what I did. Alright, so let's open this up here. So how do we extract it? I think it's in a couple of segments. Okay, so we've got this part and then this one should just pop out. Alright, so we'll set that aside. Let's first take a look at the commander here. So we have Lathril, Blade of the Elves, legendary creature, elf noble, 2/3 for 4. It's a mythic. With menace, whenever Lathril, Blade of the Elves deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. And if you tap, you get to tap 10 untapped elves you control. That will let you, each opponent loses 10 life and you gain 10 life. Okay, so tapping the elves. Presumably you'll have a ton of those on the battlefield. Okay, so let's get into this second part here. I think that's it in that piece. So we get a very nice deck box, Kaldheim, and this is the life counter thing. So I think, yeah, okay, so they've got the numbers starting on this side and then you turn it over. All right. Learn to play Commander. So that is one of the most popular Magic formats. So you start at 40 life. If your Commander deals 21 combat damage or more to any one player throughout the game, that player loses. So Commander starts in the command zone. You can read the rest there. And a bit about this deck. So we're going to have lots of elves and we will be cracking open some set boosters soon. Playing the deck. Alright, so let's check it out. So then we have nicely packaged here. So it's wrapped up and we'll go through card at a time, really soak it up. And first of all, I usually separate out the mana base so we can go through that later. We want to get into the meaty goodness first. Alright, so let's thin this pile down a bit. Okay, starting off with Ambition's Cost, sorcery for 4. You draw 3 cards and you lose 3 life. Pretty straightforward there. Eyeblight Colors, creature elf warrior, 3/3 for 5. So when it dies, create 3 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens, and then mill 3 cards. Okay, so I wonder if we'll be able to get anything back from the graveyard. We'll have to see. Eyeblight Massacre, sorcery for 4. Non-elf creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn, which should not hit you because you are running elves. Liz Alana Scarblade, creature elf assassin, 1/1 for 3. Tap, discard an elf card, you get target creature -X until end of turn, where X is the number of elves you control. So some nice removal there at the cost of an elf. Miara, Thorn of the Glade, legendary creature elf scout, 1/2 for 2. So whenever it or another elf you control dies, you may pay 1 and 1 life. If you do, draw a card. You can also partner this one, so you could use that as a commander. Pride of the Perfect, enchantment for 4. Elves you control get +2/+0, so pumping up the team there. Prowess of the Fair, tribal enchantment elf, 2 mana there. Whenever another non-token elf is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, you may create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. So that's pretty handy. Elvish Mystic, creature elf druid, 1/1 for a single green. Tap for green, so that'll help you with your ramping. And I wonder what we'll be ramping into. We'll see what happens here. Elvish Promenade, Tribal Sorcery Elf for 4. Create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token for each elf you control. Craziness! You can pretty much double everything on the battlefield. Elvish Rejuvenator, creature elf druid, 1/1 for 3. So when it enters battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield. Tap, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Okay, so get your lands out there earlier. Farhaven Elf, creature elf druid, 1/1 for 3. So when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. So some more land action. Jagged Scar Archers, creature elf archer, star for 3. So its power and toughness are each equal to the number of elves you control. Nice. Tap it, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature with flying. And I like the flavor on that one. Llanowar Tribe, creature elf druid, 3/3 for 3. Tap for 3 mana. Green mana there, so some more ramping. Lizlana Huntmaster, creature elf warrior, 3/3 for 4. So whenever you cast an elf spell, you may create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. Null Mage Shepherd, creature elf shaman, 2/4 for 4. Tap 4, untap creature you control. You get to destroy target artifact or enchantment. Numa Jiraga Chieftain, legendary creature elf warrior, 2/2 for 3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay X and X. When you do, distribute X +1/+1 counters among any number of target elves. Also has partner, so you could use that as a commander as well. Reclamation Sage, creature elf shaman, 2/1 for 3. So when it enters battlefield, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. Okay, so that's the second card we've seen for enchantment artifact destruction. Spring Bloom Druid, creature elf druid, 1/1 for 3. So when it enters battlefield, you may sack a land. If you do, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. Sylvan Messenger, creature elf, 2/2 for 4 with trample. So when it enters battlefield, reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all elf cards ruled this way into your hand, and rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So you're going to scoop up a ton of elves that way. Timberwatch Elf, creature elf, 1/2 for 3. Target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of elves on the battlefield. So when you tap that, you can do that. Voice of Many, creature elf druid, 3/3 for 4. So when it enters battlefield, draw a card for each opponent who controls fewer creatures than you. And you're going to have an army of elves by that point. Wirewood Channeler, creature elf druid, 2/2 for 4. Tap to add X mana of any one color, probably green, where X is the number of elves on the battlefield. Wood Elves, creature elf scout, 1/1 for 3. So when it enters battlefield, search your library for a forest card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Abomination of Llanowar, legendary creature elf horror, star for 3 with vigilance and menace. Abomination of Llannoir's power and toughness are each equal to the number of elves you control plus the number of elf cards in your graveyard. So we did see some where you could toss them in the graveyard, discard them. Golgari Finebroker, creature elf shaman, 3/4 for 4. So when it enters battlefield, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so you can bounce them back as well. Moldavine Reclamation Enchantment for 5. Whenever a creature you control dies, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Poison Tip Archer, creature elf archer, 2/3 for 4. Reach and Death Touch. Nice. Whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Putrefy, instant for 3. Destroy target artifact or creature that can't be regenerated. Shaman of the Pack, creature elf shaman, 3/2 for 3. So when it enters battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to the number of elves you control. Okay, so tons of elf synergies here. Pact of the Serpent, sorcery for 3. Choose a creature type. Target player draws X cards and loses X life, where X is the number of creatures they control of the chosen type. Ruthless Winnower, creature elf rogue, 4/4 for 5. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a non-elf creature. Serpent Soldier, that's interesting. Artifact for 3. Whenever an elf you control dies, exile it. You can tap, pay 2 life until end of turn. You may cast a creature spell from among cards exiled with Serpent Soldier. It's pretty handy. Bounty of Skemfar, sorcery for 3. Reveal the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield, tapped, and an elf card from among them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Canopy Tactician, creature elf warrior, 3/3 for 4. Other elves you control get +1/+1. Tap for 3 green, that's pretty handy. Crown of Skemfar, enchantment aura for 4, enchant creature. The enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each elf you control and has reach. For 2 and a green, return Crown of Skemfar from your graveyard to your hand. Wolverine Riders, creature elf warrior 4/4 for 6. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. Whenever another elf enters battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to its toughness. Elderfang Venom enchantment for 4. Attacking elves you control have Death Touch. Nice one. Whenever an elf you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Beast Whisperer, creature elf druid 2/3 for 4. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Cultivator of Blades, creature elf artificer 1/1 for 5. Fabricate 2. So you're putting 2 +1/+1 cannons on it, or create 2 1/1 color servo artifact creature tokens when this creature enters the battlefield. Whenever a Cultivator of Blades attacks, you may have other attacking creatures get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is Cultivator of Blades power. Dwinnen Guiltleaf Dian, legendary creature elf warrior 3/4 for 4 with reach. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1, and whenever it attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. Elvish Archdruid, creature elf druid 2/2 for 3. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1. Tap to add green for each elf you control. Endray's Forerunners. Okay, I was wondering when we would have more top-end creatures. Creature Boar 7/7/4/8. With Vigilance, Trample, and Haste when it enters the battlefield. Other creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain Vigilance and Trample until end of turn. So normally when you're ramping things up like this, we've seen tons of mana ramp already. You want to have something big there you can get out onto the battlefield earlier. Alright, Harvest Season, sorcery for 3, search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of tapped creatures you control, and put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. That's pretty cool. Imperious Perfect, creature elf warrior 2/2 for 3. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1, and for a green tap, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. Okay, so that's the first part of the deck. And we will get through the rest here. So we've got more elves. Marwyn the Nurturer, legendary creature elf druid, 1/1 for 3. So whenever another elf enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Marwyn the Nurturer. Tap to add an amount of green mana equal to Marwyn's power. Masked Admirers, creature elf shaman 3/2 for 4. So when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay 2 green. If you do, return Masked Admirers from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so we are getting, that previous one was a legendary. This one, Reese the Exiled, another legendary, 3/2 for 3. So whenever it attacks, you gain 1 life for each elf you control. Tap, or no, not tap, pay black, sack an elf. You get to regenerate Reese the Exiled. Voice of the Woods, creature elf 2/2 for 5. Tap 5 untap elves you control. Create a 7/7 green elemental creature token with trample. Craziness. So there's another way you can use up your elf army. Casualties of War, sorcery for, what is that, 6. Choose 1 or more, destroy target artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. Twin Blade Assassins, creature elf assassin 5/4 for 5. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, draw a card. Arcane Signet, of course. It's probably going to be in the other deck as well. Artifact for 2. Tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Pretty much a commander's staple. Along with Soul Ring. Artifact for 1. Tap to add 2 colorless mana. Elderfang Ritualist, creature elf cleric 3/1 for 3. When it dies, return another target elf card from your graveyard to your hand. Poison the Cup, instant for 3. Destroy target creature if the spell was foretold. Scry 2. You can foretell for 1 and a black, so that's the new mechanic in Kaldheim. Return Upon the Tide, sorcery for 5. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it's an elf, create 2 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. Foretell for 3 and a black. Skemfar Shadow Sage. These names always trip me up. Creature elf cleric 2/5 for 4. So when it enters the battlefield, choose 1. Each opponent loses X life, where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have a creature type in common. You gain X life, where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have a creature type in common. Turgrid's Shadow, instant for 5. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. Foretell for 2 and 2 black. Elven Ambush, instant for 4. Create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token for each elf you control. Jaspera Sentinel, creature elf rogue 1/2 for a single green with reach. Tap you get to tap, or you have to tap an untapped creature you control. You get to add 1 mana of any color. Roots of Wisdom, sorcery for 2. Mill 3 cards and return a land card or elf card from your graveyard to your hand. If you can't, draw a card. Binding the Old Gods, Enchantment Saga for 4. So on the first turn, destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Second turn, search your library for a forest card, put it onto battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. And on the third turn, creatures you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. That's pretty crazy ability there. Herald, King of Skemfar, another legendary creature, elf warrior, 3/2 for 3 with menace. So when it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an elf warrior or Tyvar card from among them, put them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I wonder if we'll see a Tyvar in here. Skemfar Elderhall, a land, enters the battlefield, tap it for green for 2. 2 black and a green tap. Sack it up to 1 target creature you don't control, gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Create 2 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. And now we've got a token here, Elemental. And on the other side, we've got the elf warrior, 1/1, very handy. So another one, let's just double check. So you probably, yeah, you need a ton of these guys. Let's, alright, wait. So this is elf warrior. Then we get a servo. So we saw that card earlier that generates servos. And yes, elf warrior on the other side. Okay, so we've got a couple of those. Yeah. Popular Magic formats. What is your preferred format? Little tips about on your turn. And now let's take a squiz at the mana base. So we have the ever popular Command Tower. It's a land tapped to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. This is probably going to be in every commander deck. Foul Orchard. So this one is for black and green. Enters tapped, of course. So some of these, or most of these, are tap lands. Golgari Guildgate, same deal. Golgari Rock Farm. The difference with this one, return land you control to its owner's hand. Jungle Hollow, and actually that previous one, you can add black and green. This one is giving you life gain for Jungle Hollow. Myriad Landscape, enters battlefield, tap it for colorless. For 2 taps, sack it, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards at shell land type. Put them onto battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. Path of Ancestry enters tapped. Tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. When that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shows a creature type with your commander, scry 1. And now we should have basic swamps. 13 of those. Forests. And 16 forests. Okay, so that wraps up the deck. So this actually looks pretty cool, especially if you like the elves as a tribe. So the idea is you're pumping out tons of elves, pumping those up with +1/+1 or +2/+2 effects. We've got some decent removal here, a lot of tribal synergies. You can also get things back from the graveyard, so that's pretty handy. So I think this is pretty good value. Actually, the time of filming, if you were to buy all the cards separately, you're looking at close to $100 US. And so this deck is only selling for 20, so a lot of value stuffed into here. So I'm curious if they do the same with the other one. We'll take a look at that in the next video. Leave a note in the comments. What do you think of these? I think they're tremendous value, especially when you consider the regular commander decks are going for about $40 US a piece. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button for more Magic the Gathering unboxings, and be sure to tap the notification bell to be notified as soon as new videos are released. And if you'd like to see some other Commander videos, I've got a whole playlist. I'll chuck a link in the corner. I think I got a couple of dozen there at this point. Hope everyone's staying safe and healthy out there. Thanks for watching and have a great day.